All right, what's going on this Wednesday, August 28th? Now, you know what's crazy is that this technology has been trying to prevent me from getting in all night. But one thing is not going to happen. I'm going to persevere because I am the one and only Dr. Rory T. Edwards, and you're live with House Calls this Wednesday. And we're going to talk about tonight the house prepared before the storm. And so the theme of this is building durability before pressure arrives. And we know so many of us, are getting prepared if you work in a school district or if you have summers that are limited in your work schedule. You full throttle right now. You full throttle because we know schools are about to start. We know businesses are about to ramp up. We know so many things that have had a summer schedule are now about to ramp up. But so I want to talk about something that I think is important because in most places also it's hurricane season, right? So people say, well, I got to get ready for hurricane season. I got to get ready for. There's so many things going on, and you got to understand how those things go on. But once again, you're listening to House Calls with Dr. Rory T. Edwards. Please give us a shout out at our website, www.rorytedwards.com, or please send us an email at rorytedwards1 at gmail.com, or you may send us an email at rorytedwards group.info at gmail.com. But let's go in with our story. But also want to let you know that after our story's over, I have something else that I want to really talk about, which is really, really heavy on my heart right now. And if you really had an opportunity to ever get to know me, you know that what I'm going to talk about is very close to what my life journey has been. And so we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about the story tonight that leads to building durability before pressure arrives. And so every hurricane season, two neighbors prepared differently. Mr. Lewis waited until the storm was approaching. When the warnings were announced, he rushed to the store, searched for batteries, stood in lines, and tried to repair everything at once. But across the street, there was a gentleman who was a little bit smarter and a little bit more prepared. His name was Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter prepared throughout the year. He checked his supplies. He replaced his weak boards. He cleaned his gutters. He reviewed all his emergency plans and made sure his family knew what to do. So when the storm finally comes, both homes face the same wind and rain. But the families experience the storms differently. Mr. Carter was not protected because he knew exactly what the storm would do. He was protected because he had strengthened his home before the pressure arrived. So one of the things that the Rory T. Edwards is known for is our human durability initiative. So the human durability works the same way. Many people wait until they are overwhelmed before caring about their mental health. They wait until the relationships break. The promotion becomes exhausting. The children begin struggling or their body forces them to stop. Full preparedness means strengthening ourselves before the demands increase. We cannot predict the meanings of strengthening ourselves before the demands increase. But we can predict what every storm is going to bring. We can predict what can develop, how we can develop our emotional regulation, our relationships, our routines, our boundaries, our wellness practices that help us remain whole when the pressure arrives. We can predict that because if we do this on a regular, we're going to be exactly what the storm is coming to disrupt. And the storm doesn't have to come in wind, rain, snow, sleet, hail. It can just come in interactions, relationships, conversations, things that are normal in our everyday lives. But what's the psychological concern here? It's called reactive coping. That's the pattern of waiting for a crisis before developing the resources necessary to manage it. And again, that's the psychological concern. It's called reactive coping. The patterns of waiting for a crisis before developing the resources necessary to manage it. But I want to share what's the moral of this story. Durability is not built during the storm. The storm reveals what was built beforehand. So when you're walking around and you know that you're going through a lot of things, but you're just looking at them as that they're going to fall off. No, they're just planting inside of you, ready to sort of dictate what's going to happen for you. Now, like I told you and you all know, I have prescriptions, house cold prescriptions. Let me give you these prescriptions. Before you get ready to do what you got to do, conduct a personal full readiness inspection. Right? That's what I want you to do. Conduct a full readiness prescription. This is what I also want you to do. Where in life currently are you vulnerable? Look at that. Write down where are you in life currently vulnerable. Number 3, which responsibilities are about to increase? You know, as you go back to your job, you take it to the next level in your relationship. You take on a position that you've been asking for, either in your social groups, your fraternal groups, your church family, things that are important to you. What responsibilities are about to increase? What support systems need to be strengthened? Every phone call doesn't need to be made to a parent, doesn't need to be made to a sibling. It needs to be made to someone who has been there for you when everything has dropped, the bottom has dropped out, or for those who have supported you throughout. And it doesn't have to be verbal support. It could just be that you pick the phone up and call them and they pick up the phone, right? Which Empower 9 pillar requires immediate attention? Now, if you listen to me before, you know my Empower 9 method and model is very intrinsic in your overall development. The Empower 9 addresses 9 phases of your human development, and which one requires immediate attention. And the last one, what daily practices can you begin before pressure arrives? Like we say, you need to do an affirmation. You need to do something. You don't need to get up out the bed and turn on the television to hear all of the nonsense that's going on the television. And that's what we're going to sort of refer to in my second portion of this, which is going to be very short. But I want to let you know that on Sunday, the 30th, I am going to address like an emergency type Facebook Live that's going to address something that's very near and dear to me. But also I'm going to speak about it tonight so you are prepared for it. So failed preparation is not fear of what may happen. It is respect for what may be required to carry. See, all of us think that we can prepare so much stuff, but when it's time to pick it up and move it, are we able to carry it, right? So I want to let you know it's been a great month. The month of August has been great. We've got crazy supportive reviews, and people have asked for different things and say they like the format. We want to continue with this. So let me give you my August closing message. Summer cleaning isn't about more. It's about more than closets. It's about more than garages. It's about more than old clothing. It's an opportunity to clear the environment. Your relationships have to be built on stronger foundations. in psychological spaces that have been overcrowded. We have to start cleansing those. We have to start clearing those out. We have to realize what's important to us, what's going to help us build, and what is not necessary that we are holding on to because either we feel like we're the power source for them or they feel like they're the power sources for us. You have to truly evaluate that and realize that some of that stuff has to be purged, right? What else? It's fall preparation. Is more than buying supplies and creating schedules. It is the intentional strengthening of a person who must carry the next season. So if you're going into something new, you have to be able to do all of that. You have to be understanding is what is your capacity, what is your internal durability to be able to carry what needs to be carried into the next season. So before August ends, I want to give you 4 things that I want you to do as homework. I want you to clean what has been neglected. It may be a house, it may be your car, it may be, just your inbox. It just may be relationships, friendships, things that need to be purged. Clean your phone. There's people in your phone that you no longer talk to. Get rid of them because it's occupying space. Get rid of them. The next thing is to release what has been expired. If you got a credit card thing in there that says, this card expired in 2019, why are you still holding on to it? If you have something that's been expired, release it. Get rid of it. Open up space for you to receive your blessings. Number 3, organize what remains. Whatever that remains in your spirit, in your cipher, organize it, prioritize it, make it fall into place where it's so very important to you. And also, strengthen what will carry you forward. Because the next season does not only require a better plan, it requires a more durable you. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Because the next season does not require a better plan. It requires a more durable you. All right? So, we're finished with house calls. But there's something that I really, really want to talk about. And it's going to be quick, though. Because I'm trying to not go back to my old format. I want to tell the stories, but I want it to continue. And one of the things I want to talk about is that I know there's a lot of people out here who are pushing for the vote, get out and vote campaign, and they're pushing it to the extreme. But I want to talk about something that I don't do politics. Most people know I don't do politics because politics in my mind are politics because people talk about what they're going to do and then they never are held to those expectations and nobody ever talks to them about it because it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. I can't get to that politician. But if you put them in office and you voted for them, I get emails all the time that says you didn't vote in this election. Well, that means you're not doing your true research because I did vote in that election. So stop trying to bait me into saying I did vote and who I voted for. Just do your job. Do the job that's going to come out your mouth. But what I want to let people know is that I don't know about you, but I know about me. One thing that if you know me, I've been down for young people for over 40 plus years. I've worked in the school districts, I worked in programs, I worked in community organizations, I worked at the highest level, I worked in Africa, and I worked in multiple countries in the Maya to build programs, especially for our young African American males or our males of melanated complexion. And so what I want to tell people is that we're pushing this get out and vote thing. But some of you still before November are going to have debates between the two candidates. And I want one question posed to every candidate, either at the local level, at the state level, or at the Senate or congressional level. I want you to ask them, what is their stance on the 20 individuals over the last 18 months that have been hung? What is their stance on the 20 black men and women that have been hung? They chalking it up to suicide. You have to understand the pressure of suicide, and then you also have to understand what it takes for an individual to hang themselves 25, 30 inches from the edge of the branch. We have to stop being reactive and be proactive in our messages. Don't bring a candidate into your session to talk to black voters about what he's going to do or she's going to do for your black voters unless that question is asked. What are you going to do at the level, if you are elected, what are you going to do to address the concern that the federal government needs to stop? Needs to stop everything. You need to stop the tariffs. You need to stop worrying about the Strait of Hormuz. You need to stop worrying about everything else. You need to worry about and concentrate. Your number one concentration should be on the hanging of these 20 black young brothers and sisters. And if you want to talk about getting on and vote, if you vote for somebody who doesn't have an answer for that, you're also on the chopping board. Because if nobody is addressing it, then it's not a big concern of those who are in power. And so if you're going to put people in power, you better make sure that they address your concerns before you give them their vote. Now, if you know me, you know I've always been on the front lines. One thing I ain't never scared. That's a song, I don't know who that was who made it. One of them cats made it, and I said, I ain't never scared, never ran, never will. I'm from Brownsville. So one of the things that I want you to know is that I'm going to say what I need to say when I need to say it. So this is the other side of me. But one of the groups I want to thank who are out there, when I looked up the research, I want to say nobody is out there advocating for them. And I had to go do the research and find out there are multiple groups out there, and I want to shout them out. And if you are in the area for which they are working in, please join the movement and help them to make sure that this stays at the forefront of the conversations. We realize that the person who is playing commander-in-chief is not concerned about it. So our job is to make sure we get people in who eliminate his narrative and his rhetoric and his nonsense and his ignorance so that we can address things that are going to make not just our communities better, but America better, right? We're not just losing against each other, we're losing globally. And if you don't sit around here and understand that, then you might as well get on the boat and travel westward, young man, okay? Because this is one of the things that's very, very, very important to me. We're talking about the Nolan Wells case. We're talking about the Carmelo Anthony case. We're doing a lot of stuff, but we can't allow Ben Crump to be consumed with trying to address these issues if we're not assisting that group in making sure that these are our areas of concern. And if your main focus is not on those 20 black children who have been hung, and you have children, or you have grandchildren, or you have somebody in your life who has children, then you are disconnected with reality. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying or not, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you throw a rock into a pack of wolves, a hit dog will holler. So let me thank the groups before I get out of here, because I want to be under 20 minutes today. Let me thank some of the groups that are leading the charge to make sure that this stays in the forefront of the federal government, that they need to address what's going on and who's responsible for taking the lives of these young brothers and sisters. Now, one of the groups is Jillian. It's a civil rights organization funded by attorney Jill Colin Jefferson. Look her up. If you're in that area she's in, please join her and support her. It's also another group by the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. A lot of you out here, NAACP is sitting up here, you're bragging about what you're talking about. We the people. Well, we the people better get busy then. How about that? Now, if you don't like what I'm saying, holler at me, because you know I've been a member of the NAACP for a long time. President for 12 years, also National Education Committee lifetime member. So if you don't like what I'm saying, holla at me. How about that? I'm glad the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund is up forefront. Let's get the branches and the regions and the state organizations at the forefront to make sure it may not be happening in your city, but it's like a movie. It's like Christmas. It's coming. If they can get away with it in Mississippi, that's the trial. That's the trial area for it. It's coming. All right. Also, Black Lives Matter grassroots. They're sending people out to the place to do some consulting and some counseling with the victims' parents. Also, the Equal Justice Initiatives. They're also on the ground doing work. Also, the Ben Crump law offices are out there, but we can't allow Ben Crump to be the face of every situation that is addressing black concerns in America, because eventually he'll become watered down. You understand what I'm saying? If you understand the movement, you understand how things move, they're eventually going to water down the Ben Crump message. We need to be a little bit more vocal in how we do things. And the last one is a lot of local grassroots organizations and some student coalition groups that are doing works on HBCUs. Keep up that great work. Keep it up, because basically the bottom line is that's where they're targeting, HBCUs. And so if you're on an HBCU and you choose to walk by yourself, you never know who's driving by or who may scoop you, right? So this is my second message for tonight. But Sunday, I'm gonna do a special message because it's August 30th. And it's the day that quite a few young men who you all have been cheering for your favorite NFL team will be cut from the roster. And in the words of Jay-Z, I want to say, do you know what that type of can do to a brother's mind? Do you know what can happen when you get that close to your dream and you wake up and it's a nightmare? Do you? Okay. This your man, Dr. Rory Taylor's, just dropping 2 different informational sessions tonight for you. But I believe that they were both very, very important, and the narrative is what it needs to be. So until we talk the next time, you all be well, stay active, stay woke, stay productive, and stay blessed. Till we speak, Ashe. Be blessed. Be well.